Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be trying out the dressing robe curls on my own hair. So I saw this trend on TikTok like ages ago and I never really did it because at the time I was like, no, I'm going to make my hair like my own natural ways, and this is what my hair looks like with like the curly girl method, which I think is very nice. However, it takes quite some time to get it to look nice. And by time I mean like not necessarily styling time, but just drying my hair time. My hair takes hours to dry, so I can only logistically do these like curly girl hairstyles if I wash my hair in the morning and pretty much let it dry throughout the whole day, which sometimes isn't possible. So I was searching for another way to style my hair so that it would look nice if I washed it at night, and then came along the dressing gown robe curls. Now I don't think that this is a new concept. I think that tying, like curling your hair with like rags, has been around forever, but I haven't seen anyone else really do it like a dressing gown cord before, which I thought was really intriguing, so I decided to try it out myself. I had to have a few attempts, so here's attempt number one. So for attempt number one, I had pretty wet hair, so this is not fresh out of the shower, but this is about 2 hours after I've showered. Yes, my hair takes a very long time to dry, and I, looking back, should have used the hairdryer a little bit, but I didn't want to put any heat on the hair just to, you know, dry it out. So I started off by tying the gown around one half of my hair and then making this small little wrap starting from the top. I wrapped outwards and I started with including my fringe as well, because I figured that in the morning, if I wanted to, I could just take the fringe part out and rewash it. I did find it a little bit awkward to tie the knot at the bottom. Like you can see that I had like a lot of issues. My hair is fairly short for me, and I think that if you have longer hair, it probably won't be as problematic. So I moved on to the other side as well, and again had a few issues. Then afterwards I found that the hair was just kind of untwisting, so I sort of wound them tighter and then tied it around my head in a little knot on top, which looked really cute. Then I went off to sleep, and in the morning I woke up and my hair was still wet. Surprise, surprise. Honestly, not really a surprise to me because my hair takes a long time to dry. I knew that, yeah. So after unwrapping the curls, some of them looked nice and slightly dry, but for the most part it just looked like an absolute frizzy mess. So I decided to forego that here and then try again. So this is attempt number two. This time I decided to dry my hair like 70 to 80% dry and only have like a little bit of dampness to the hair, which again is what people kind of like recommended, but it wasn't like, it's not what I wanted to happen, if that makes sense. Like I wanted my hair to be not wet, but like more wet than it is dry, and to have it dry while I was sleeping, which it normally would if I put it into like braids. So I didn't think it was like that far out, but anyway. So this is what my hair looks like if I haven't really styled it. It is a little bit wavy, but you can't see any definition. So I did the same thing and I tied the hair around. So basically all you're doing here is you're taking small sections, and it's almost like a French twist. You're just twisting the section around the dressing gown band and then adding a new section each time, which makes the curl progressively larger as you get down to the bottom. I then again tied the ends off with the hair tie and progressed onto the other side, wrapping around, and then I tied them together again in a little circle halo. This time I did leave my fringe out because it looked nice. Then in the morning my hair was like pretty dry feeling. There was a little bit of dampness still, but in general the hair was pretty dry. So when I unwrapped them, the curls actually stayed, but you can see also that I have a little bit of like frizz around the sides. The more I uncurled these little curls, the more frizz I got, unfortunately, but you can see that the curls are pretty intact. The ones at the front of my hair are a lot springier, they're a lot curlier, and then the ones at the back of my hair are a lot wider, and this is because obviously I've added extra hair to the curl as I've gone down, and I do have a lot of hair and it is very thick. So that is what the hair looks like from behind. Luckily for me, I have a wavy hair texture anyway, so my hair isn't fully straight and then bumps out into curls. You can still see a little bit of movement, but it does look a little funny because the hair on top has a different kind of wave, and then the back section is only really curled at the very tips, which is a little weird to look at. Again, it's not so bad because my hair is naturally curly, well, not curly, wavy, but still unusual. So overall, I think that the trend definitely works. It makes some really beautiful curls, especially the ones in the front sections, of course. Those are the ones that will round the most around, and they wear the smaller sections because I have less hair in the front of my face than I have in the back. However, the back section looks like trash. I'm lucky that my hair texture is wavy anyway, so the back part of my hair from here to here still has some kind of movement to it. It doesn't look completely straight and then curly, but I think if you had straight hair, you really struggle because you're not curling this crown section here, like the entire back of your head. You just get curls on the bottom. So while I think that there's definitely merit to the trend, like, this is a great curl. Love it. Just beautiful. It's probably not suited for thick hair. Like, the back parts of my hair really struggle to curl properly. They're very, very loose, and they're only really down the bottom section. Like, this is all, I know you can't see it, it's really hard. That's all my natural hair texture. So it's been like 2 hours since I took the curls out, and I've noticed that this side is like starting to get super flat. It just looks a little average. This side, for some reason, like, one is holding up the curl really well. Good work. And the rest is just, it's just chilling. I also found out that I've got a really sore neck. I'm sleeping funny because of the hair. So I'm gonna say not worth it for me. I feel like I'm just gonna be reiterating that. But yeah, I mean, it's still curly. So then at the end of the day, my hair looked pretty flat. Like, the curls did not hold whatsoever. There are a few like little wavy bits, but in general my hair kind of looks like that normally. Funnily enough, the back curls held the best, and that's because my natural hair texture has more wave at the back than it does at the front. The front hair is naturally more straight, so it wasn't a style that held up very well for me. You can see a little bit of wave at the end, and when I turn my head you can see that the hair is pretty like frizzy and not the best. In general, I feel like this is probably not the hair trend for me. I think that it does work. Obviously, twirling your hair around something is going to create some kind of wave, but I feel like for me, because the wave ended here, well, it only started here and went from there downwards, it didn't really work that well because of the length of my hair. Before, like last year, I used to have a lot longer hair, so this for me is like short long hair, and I think that if you have longer hair it probably will work better because you don't want the curl to be starting that high up anyway. It would look more natural if the curl started a little bit further down. So if I had longer hair, what I would choose to do instead is to start the curl maybe from like here rather than my curl started up here, because I just didn't have like the length of hair required for that. So it's not a hairstyle that I will be doing on a regular basis, but I would like to try out these sock curls, which is where you take a sock and you run it vertically down your hair, and then you can create the curl or the wave going around that way, and you do it in small sections. So I'm really curious to see how that turns out. Would you guys like to see me talk about that hair trend as well? And I have not done a hair routine yet because the products I'm using are like, they're like good. Oh no, they're not good. I don't know why. Like, I cannot finish an entire hair product and still think it's good. Like, I'll start it and be like, this is great, and then by the end of the product I'm like, ooh, this is making my hair so greasy, and I don't want to recommend anything that's not actually working for me. Hopefully that makes sense. But yes, I can't really tell you how to get this because this is like what grows out of my head, but mostly just put gel in your hair and then it won't get frizzy. Woo! Yay! But let me know if you guys have tried this trend and if there are any other hair trends that you would like me to try next. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!